Did you know you can control in which order fill and stroke are applied in CSS? Do you know how powerful border image can be and why you should always properly size your images? Find out all about this and more in the next few minutes. This episode is sponsored by Product for Engineers. I'll show you exactly why you should subscribe in a bit. First up, Chris Coyer will remind you that there is a webkit-text-stroke property that lets you add strokes to your text. This property is supported in all modern browsers. It doesn't just work in WebKit, so you can use it in production, even though it does look weird with the WebKit prefix here. There is one potential problem with text stroke, and that is text stroke is actually rendered at the center of the edge of the text. Let me show you here on the screenshot right here. So in some shapes of letters, this might look really weird and really unnatural, quite frankly bad. But luckily there is a very simple CSS solution that allows you to fix this problem. And that solution is the paint order CSS property. It allows you to define the order in which the browser will paint strokes and borders. By default, the browser will first paint the fill and then the stroke, which means that you might end up with weird renderings like you've seen in this example here. But if you switch this up and tell the browser to first paint the stroke and then fill, the fill is going to come over the border, which means essentially that in that case, the border will be painted not at the center of the edge, but at the outer edge. This property is supported in all modern browsers, so you can use it to fix problems with text if your letter spacing is too small or if just font doesn't really work well with text strokes. A really nice example that Chris shared is this one. This is the default rendering, really weird, really off, quite frankly bad. And this is with the paint order stroke fill. So whenever you use a webkit-text-stroke property, remember that you can also fix various problems, if necessary, using the paint order property. Next up, Andy Clark will remind you that border image is really powerful and it allows you to create very interesting effects. In this article, Andy explains in detail how border image works, starting from the basic syntax to advanced use cases, along with tips on slicing your images to fit perfectly to your borders. Andy mentioned that border image is an underused CSS property, and I think he's absolutely right. I don't remember when was the last time that I used it, or actually if I ever used it apart from trying it out and seeing how it works for some demos. By utilizing it creatively, you can build really nice effects like this one that Andy shares. It looks stunning, works wonderfully, and most importantly, this type of design, if you're using border images, is not fixed, but you can actually fit any amount of content there, and it works responsively across various screen sizes. So read this article and remind yourself how powerful border image can be. Next up, Ian Vanegas explains what you, as an engineer, might be getting wrong about communication. From my experience, most engineers, unfortunately, don't realize the importance of communication. And that is exactly what Ian addresses in this article. Before we dig into it, I want to mention that this video is sponsored by Product for Engineers newsletter and Posthog. This article has been published in Product for Engineers newsletter, and I wanted to show it to you because I think it's fantastic. But you can check out any of their other articles before signing up, and it will be perfectly clear why you should be signed up. All right, the first communication error that engineers usually make is forgetting about users. Whatever it is that you're building, you can only succeed if you can successfully solve painful and valuable problems that your users are having. As Jan explains, in their team, 80% of the communication is about users, about their problems, about feature requests or bugs. So one of the ways you can improve the communication with your teammates is by focusing first and foremost on your customers, on your users. The second communications mistake engineers usually make is hoarding information. People might be scared that sharing information will make them look silly or they will lose power if they share it. I'm going to share a story from my personal experience. A way back, I was talking to a developer who explained to me that he never comments code. He doesn't write any documentation either because this makes him more valuable to the company, or they will not be able to fire him if they don't know how code he writes works. As you probably understand yourself, this is wrong on so many levels. It doesn't even work. If anybody wanted to get any work done, they had to go through that developer, which means a lot of his time was actually spent explaining intricacies of code instead of actually solving problems that their users were having. Don't hide information for your teammates. Be transparent. Share everything that you have openly. In this article, Ian shares a number of other mistakes, but the point that I want to single out here is not making communication actionable. As Ian explains, at Posthog, they prioritize communication based on the action, which means that communication that is closer to an action, like shipping code, shipping a new version of a product, is prioritized over everything else. and this is very nicely visible in this communications tier list. Their top priority are pull requests, then requests for comments, GitHub issues, public Slack channels, then, and I love this part so much, carrier pigeon and chemtrails before private messages and email, because all of this at the top is directly related to actions, to shipping code, to shipping new features, and advancing your company's mission. To get more actionable advice on improving your communication skills, read this article, and of course, subscribe to Product for Engineers newsletter by PostHawk. You're going to find the link in the description, and you're not going to regret it. Thanks so much to PostHawk for sponsoring. Next up, Anna Monus explains how to properly size images to improve core web vitals. As Anna explains, Lighthouse Performance Audit detects unnecessarily large images on a website and measures how much longer it will take for a page to load because of those images. And quite frankly, I am pretty guilty of not following this rule, properly sizing images. A lot of times I just take a shortcut and create 2x images. Those will look great on smaller sizes, on bigger sizes, but my web pages are actually much larger than they should be because I'm not utilizing all modern image formats and I'm not sizing my images properly. Anna explains exactly what this performance audit means and shares a number of tips on how you can address this. As I already mentioned that I am making this mistake quite often, I'm going to show you directly how bad this can be. I'm going to open landing page from my project CSS Stickers and I'm going to run performance audit in Lighthouse. I'm happy about the accessibility aspect here, but my performance is far from ideal, and one of the major problems is I'm not properly sizing my images, and potential savings are almost 10 megabytes. I'm forcing my mobile users to actually download quite a lot of unnecessary data because I'm not sizing my images properly. So yes, I will fix this on CSS Stickers website, and I might even create a guide showing you exactly how I did it. By the way, as I'm talking about CSS Stickers, if you want to support CSS Weekly and this YouTube channel, please buy a pack. I will really appreciate it. Next up, we have Vectorizer by Neplex. This is a fast Node.js library that allows you to convert raster images to SVG. You can import it into your project or you can use it directly from the console as it has nice CLI commands, which allows you to very quickly on the go convert raster images to SVG. I tested it and I think it works pretty well, so I'll actually show you on an example. I'll open Visual Studio Code and again my project CSS Stickers. I have this CSS Stickers logo in PNG format and I will try converting it to SVG using Vectorizer. I already installed it, so I will just run the command npx Neplex Vectorizer, and this is my PNG image, and this should be my new image in SVG format. Let's try it out. It took about 55 milliseconds, so it's pretty fast, and let's see what it looks like. I think the quality here is pretty okay, and if I check my actual SVG image, I don't think there's any difference there. If you ever need to convert raster to vector images, you don't have to open Photoshop, just use Vectorizer in your console. Lastly, we have a stunning demo created by Antoine Wodniak, a creative black hole. In this demo, Antoine combines CSS and JavaScript to achieve this wonderful effect. CSS is only 120 lines long, and if I remove it, you will see what the JavaScript does. So this is what is generated on the canvas element, and to make this look really amazing, all you need is a few lines of CSS. Antoine uses CSS here really creatively, utilizes gradients and transforms along with the mixed blend mode to achieve this wonderful effect and to make this plain JavaScript renderer look absolutely amazing. Let me quickly jump to HTML again, and let's comment out just this canvas element. This effect is created using pure CSS, and then with a little bit of creativity, it can transform your canvas-generated graphic, your canvas-generated black hole to look as stunning as this. Thank you so much for your attention. My name is Zoran Jambor. I will see and hear you in the next video. And until then, please don't fall into a black hole, even if it looks as good as this one. I'm pretty sure it won't feel good. Bye.